Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, let's talk about 50 Cent, aka Curtis Jackson. I know we've never really talked about him before, but he had a nice little sit down with the folks over at the Daily Star, where it came out that he is a massive Top Gear fan. In fact, he's not real happy about the new direction for the new franchise, and he thinks that he can save it he himself by becoming a presenter on the program. When being shown off this information, the tabloid actually asked back, well, you've never road tested machines before. But he was like, I've owned hundreds of machines. In fact, I have an extensive automobile collection and think I would be perfect and know exactly the direction this show needs to go in. Now, this may shock you, but I couldn't name you one 50 Cent song. But I have seen him in a fair amount of films and have to say the guy does a pretty good job for someone who isn't classically trained to be an actor. So is it crazy that I think he may be really good inside this franchise? Now, the BBC hasn't said anything on the matter, nor has the people for Mr. 50 Cent. So we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more about this deal, because this is a very intriguing story. Next up on the list, the folks over at Honda and Acura have got brand new NSXs heading to local dealerships as we speak. And a funny little story has come out over the past several days from those folks, because it's no secret that manufacturers from all over the world will buy rival automobiles from rival manufacturers to actually do some testing on, to check out some of the new technologies that they have, and even dissect the machines to see how the machines go together. And this was the case with the folks over at Honda and Acura when they went out and purchased a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Now, they at Honda and Acura didn't do it. They'll usually actually front the money through an employee, so they do it a little bit on the incognito side. Now, the situation with this particular go-round with the GT3 RS, they were having engine issues. You may remember that, where Porsche actually did a stop sale on the machine. Then they went so far as doing a massive recall on these, where they replaced all the engines inside of these vehicles. And that's where this story really gets interesting, because when this thing hit the dealer and Porsche dived into the black box, as it were, to see how this vehicle was driven and where it was being driven, they put 2 and 2 together, added 12 and carried the 5, and came up with this vehicle was actually owned by Honda and Acura. Took out the engine cover and wrote on the back side of it a nice little note for them to find that just said, "Good luck, Honda, from Porsche. See you on the other side." Of course, Honda and Acura did find it when they did take apart the machine the next time, so pretty cheeky little story. Now, it actually involved another manufacturer, that being McLaren with the MP4-12C, which they owned as well, the folks over at Honda and Acura. They actually, the person that went in to actually take it in for service, was pulled aside by a service writer or a service manager, who, when they digged in the black box, saw something very intriguing and went to them and said, "Where on earth did you find a place to do 205 miles an hour? We hope you did that on a racetrack." Fun little story, right? Next up on the list, Audi's brand new A4 Allroad. Now, they showed off this vehicle a handful of months ago, but we've got official specs. And if you had a hankering for this machine and you live here in the United States, great news, because it's coming here stateside. The European version comes with 2 different power options, one coming from a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that's gasoline. It comes in 3 different power levels, with the high-end version having 190 horsepower and 295 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 7-speed S-Tronic transmission. You can also get it in a 3-liter turbocharged diesel variant that comes in 2 different power options, the high-end version making 272 horsepower and 443 pounds-feet of torque. The stateside version only comes one way. It comes with that 2-liter gasoline turbocharged 4, making 252 horsepower and 273 pounds-feet of torque. That is shifted through a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Obviously, power is going to all 4 wheels. Audi has yet to release pricing or availability on this machine as of yet, but when we hear that information, we will let you know. Last up on the list, a very bizarre story involving Bernie Ecclestone. maybe his mother-in-law is more accurate to say that it's involving, because the mother-in-law of Bernie Ecclestone was actually kidnapped Friday, July 22nd, and has been in hostage mode for a whole time since that situation. And there's actually a massive ransom that's actually been held over her head. It's an odd situation where she was actually kidnapped right out of her hometown, and the ransom is actually for pounds sterling, even though she was actually kidnapped in Brazil. The Brazilian police are actually working on the situation as we speak. They're asking for 4 separate sacks of money that is divvied up between the 4 of them, 2.8 million pounds sterling, or the equivalency of $3.7 million. Now, there's no doubt that Bernie Ecclestone here has got that kind of cash, but whether he's going to pay off the ransom or not, it remains to be seen. All of us here at Motor Cars send our deepest prayers to the friends and family of this lady who is actually in a frightening situation. Hopefully this will end peacefully and those folks can be brought to justice for this horrible act of kidnapping. We'll keep you in tune on this situation as well. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.